Hey guys, this is Martin from trainingforwarriors.com. So much of this information you can find besides this series right here is in the Training for Warriors dojo. And right now we are on part 5 of a little series right here just on sprinting. We are here in Costa Mesa, California, and we are at, I guess you could say, the track. But when I say the track, look, we have a track, we got a sand pit, we got cement floor, we got stairs, we got hills, we got all kinds of different, what I would say, surfaces that you could be sprinting on. And a lot of people ask me all the time, hey, what do I think of hills? What do I think of stairs? What do I think of the track? Hey, should I run on sand? And I want to go over, we got grass right there too. I want to go over my theories on that right now. So, hey, 2 ways I like to break things up. You've got elevated training that you could consider the stairs or hills, and then we've got flat training where you could consider that a whole spectrum from soft grass to turf to a manicured track to cement. Starting on the flat surfaces right now, hey, if I'm gonna pick where I would probably want people to run, I would say that either that a manicured grass surface, the turf surface, maybe the track. Starting off with grass and turf because the impact, when you've got 7 to 10 times your body weight pounding through people and they haven't run before, that's a recipe for shin splints, that's a recipe for really beating people up. So I like to start off on a softer surface, but that still has some receptivity that it's not too soft. What do I mean by that? If you run on sand or you're running on sand pits, the feet hit the ground, go into the ground, there's no reaction and it comes off the ground. That ends up not being the purpose of sprint training, and you're actually delaying the nervous system or spending too much time on the ground. So I wouldn't recommend that, even though it sounds tough. Now, if your only choices are a track or cement, I would say you got to prep the people up. Don't do as much, which will be in part 6 coming up here on dosages. But what I would say is you got to be very careful of how much you run on it so you're not banging anybody up. But ultimately, if nothing else, I want you to, hey, paying attention to the surface is very important for the people that you're working with, especially fighters, especially athletes that they're already really banged up and they don't run a lot. The last thing you want to do is hurt them in your training. Now, speaking right now of elevated training, so stair running and hill running, everybody's like, oh, we're doing stairs, we're doing hills. Hey, stair running and hill running change the techniques that you use. The angle of that hill or the angle of the stairs or how many stairs you take at a time can change the recruitment patterns that you use as well. And a lot of times it can also slow you down. So people may not be running as fast up a hill or as fast upstairs, or they're even putting on weight when they do that as well, and it might sometimes be counterproductive. So, some things to be aware of. When you're running hills and you've got that, man, you're getting more dorsiflexion at the ankle taking place, more pressure on the knees, that can sometimes be a detriment to people that don't have the range of motion for it. So you got to make sure that they're prepared. Don't start people on hills. People eventually graduate to hills. If you're doing stairs, hey, I'd love some stair training, but in both cases, you got to make sure you finish back on that flat surface to make sure that you're reinforcing the technique that you've been working so hard for too. All right, so right there, hey, I don't know if you've even ever thought of that one before, but stimulating you on, hey, how about the surface? Running on grass is running different than on turf, different on turf than running on track, different on track than cement. And hey, if you're gonna run stairs or you're gonna run some hills, hey, there are some real things you have to be aware of before you attack that if you really wanna help people. See, hey, anybody can make somebody tired. That doesn't mean everybody's making somebody better. And this course was about making you better, and I hope this has stimulated you to think about some things like that. And in the final one in this series, part 6 coming up, we're gonna talk now about not just the surface, but hey, how far should you go? How hard should you go? And when we talk about that, you will be complete ready to take some of this stuff, the action to the track, and start helping more people to bring out the speed or fulfill the need for speed that they have in their life.